Thank you, Aileen and Sophia, again for coming on to the show. This is part 2, where we're going to talk about the interior colors, materials, and finishes. We already did the exterior. You might want to rewind and go back and find that. But thank you again to Team Rivian for letting us have them. Obviously, they're a delight. Please like and subscribe. Again, we appreciate you all.
General consensus that we've heard from the community and a lot of reviewers as well is that the interior design pulls off a really clean, simple, but still at the same time luxury type feel. And matter of fact, I was on a podcast earlier this morning where the car reviewer compared it to a Volvo kind of feeling interior almost. But what inspired the overall design and the materials that you chose to use?
For you, Sophia. I mean, when we first started this program, like we found inspiration from like modern furniture or like product in the market or architecture, like just different areas, not just automotive. And we wanted to create environment like really like your living space, like a cozy, inviting environment. So that was the initial starting point. So even you can see our IP piece, it just looks like a piece of furniture. It's just beautifully done, whether it's made of wood or it's wrapped with our vegan leather material. It just very elevates that simplicity and then cleanness into the environment. That's why we got inspiration from, where we got inspiration from. And then even the material choices, RJ said, we want to creating the experience like a both premium and then the rugged. Because if you want to go to outdoor adventure, we have to make sure the seat material is very durable, easy to clean. Mm-hmm. And then flooring material should be easy to maintain as well. So we're trying to like balance that premiumness and then ruggedness throughout the interior. I think we did a great job to make that happen.
You absolutely did a phenomenal job to make that happen.
She captured it perfectly, right? So I came on board when Sophia had done all the, heavy lifting, if you will. But yeah, just the idea of keeping the interiors really inviting, yet feeling like you wanted to be in there, feeling really cozy. So, certain details like the Chillywitch, which was, one of the biggest things when Rivian launched in LA across, CMF communities. We were like, they were able to use Chillywitch. And it's really important because to me, right, it's those attentions to detail, those little shifts in the thought process of interior design that really kind of helps you open the door, feel like you're at home, feel like you're comfortable. Like it's not something that you're afraid to like step into or get dirty, right? It feels really, really familiar.
It does.
And, just a little throwback, going back in time a little bit, we latched on to the Chili Witch theme as well. And we actually turned it into a verb. And it was getting chili witched, which is like getting treated like floor mats, getting treated like dirt. So anyway.
Yeah. When you said living in Chili Witch, I was actually going to ask, okay, so are you guys rocking the Chili Witch in your vehicles, or did you go with the all-weather big rubber ones right now?
Chillywitch for sure.
I have a Chillywitch.
Me too.
They're designers, Kyle. Come on.
I absolutely love the Chillywitch floor mats as far as how easy they are to vacuum.
Yeah,
like,
you can clean up.
Just sucks right up. And I love the flexibility of it, but it doesn't ever, I don't know, it's like magic to me. Why didn't they always use this? So great job on that. Back to you guys. Any kind of follow-ups with that? Any kind of new directions with questions? Jimmy, you got any Chili Witch jokes?
No Chili Witch jokes. I am curious as far as like the quote unquote vegan leather fabric that you guys choose for the seating material. Like, I'm amazed at, we're at 16,500 miles since April. And they don't have the stress marks and the the creases in the seats after all of the driving we've done. Like, what was that process like, finding a material that was as durable as it is, and but still giving it a soft feel? Because a premium soft feel that doesn't wear you out after a 6,000 mile road trip like we've been on for the last 16 days.
Yeah, the development process was, extensive as it is with all of our materials, right? Like Sophia touched on, is we needed to deliver not only the beauty of the interior, but make sure it would live up to our brand, right? So making sure that every material we came up with also could withstand that timelessness that we're trying to deliver by being durable, and making sure that it looks as beautiful on mile 16,000 than it does on your first day.
Right. I think we went through like 3 different variations. I think this is generation even 3.
Yeah.
So we work with supplier, engineers, like we really developed the material to get this point.
Mm-hmm.
Since Jimmy just talked about the wearability, someday I'm going to figure out how to be Ocean Coast Kyle. But I've always thought, how will that wear? Do you guys have any kind of insight? Light interior, a lot of people are scared of. Are you able to shoot straight up with what you've seen after long, extensive testing and how it cleans and holds up, even the light one?
Yeah, even the light one, has to withstand to the same testing parameters, right? So our materials engineers kind of hold us accountable to make sure that we can deliver right. So even like we were talking about tweaking exterior color just a little bit, we have to do the same with interiors, right? Maybe just moving it just a hair darker. Right? And then making sure that it has whether it be top coats necessary to like anti-stain or stain repel. Same testing. Somehow our engineers don't necessarily care if it's, white or black. They just need to make sure that the test is passed.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. And I'm sure that what I'm going to say is it's just, if it kind of shows some stuff over 5 years, it's just patina. It's patinaed.
Yeah, that's what Sophia thinks too. Yeah.
And our material is so easy to clean just using soap and water. So I think if you just maintain it around, like your house,
Awesome. So I already mentioned one, so I'll kind of keep it rolling here, and then I'll kick it over to like maybe Skylar next. But do you want to speak into sustainabilities of the materials that you've used, and just in general feedback on that?
Sustainability, well, we can say the largest impact area, like a headliner and then all the flooring cover material, we wanted to use maximum recycled contents into it. And then like a sitting material, like some like a surface material, we wanted to make sure it's durable and easy to clean. I think this also speaks to sustainability, because you don't want to have a material just stay just 2 years and then you have to replace it every,
Yeah, so it's beyond like the label of recycled, right? It's thinking about the longevity of the material. Right. And how and then it's also that balance of like how beautiful it's going to look at mile 16,000, how beautiful it's going to look, 3 years down the road, where we're hoping and tests have shown that like our wood surfaces just continue to get better, because like you said, that patina that wear, like if you think of your favorite coffee table or piece of furniture in your house that's made of wood, it's got nicks and cracks, but you can kind of like remember, that's where my kid hit it with a baseball bat or whatever it is, and that's the story we're trying to get out of our materials as well.
Have you been spying on my house?
No, I just have 2 daughters of my own.
I do love that. I will kick it over to Skylar, but I do love the idea of patina. And honestly, the last
a couple pair of boots that I've gotten. I've gotten the ones where I can resole them, but keep that top, and it just looks better with 20 years. It really does.
And that's kind of what we consider, not just the only part of sustainability, but it's also that longevity of the materials that is also sustainable, right? It's kind of that aging with grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, Skylar, what are you thinking?
So I have a couple of things about the wood trim, and the first thing is actually some of the community was asking, and I'm not sure if you guys can answer this, but if you can, what is the best way to clean and or maintain the wood trim?
There's no necessarily specific way to maintain, right? Because like we were talking about, it goes through stringent testing, etc. So it's meant to be where it is. So as far as maintenance, it's just cleaning like you would the rest of your interior, microfiber cloth, etc.
Okay, no, perfect. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about was the change from light wood to dark wood in Ocean Coast. And personally, I like the look a lot better. So that's just a little bit of a statement. But I know that you guys are also, coming forward with vegan leather wrapped trim options. And I was hoping you might be able to talk a little bit about those and what are your thoughts, impressions, and maybe even a little bit about how you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Want me to take it? Yeah. Okay. Obviously, we like it, right? That's how you guys are seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of pivot to do the PU on the IP really came from the want or need to deliver something that is alternative to wood, like you mentioned. Maybe I think I've read in your community, most people like the wood. Some people are, I would buy it if it had other alternatives. So we really, like we said, we took that to heart, and we wanted to deliver something that still gave you this really modern interior without having to force the wood, right? And then the idea of it still being cleanable and resilient. Yeah.
And the beauty of the CMF design, if you're changing that deco-piece material, totally change the experience and the mood.
Mm-hmm.
And then just really different. You don't have to change the form, but creating that unique environment, I think that's we wanted to push, providing more options to our customers.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the cool things about our job, right? Is we not only get to work with really talented interior and exterior designers, but when we're kind of handed these beautiful form language to play with, right? It's really when we can breathe different personalities into the interior, and one of the things we really strive to do within the CMF team here at Rivian is create a really strong emotional connection with our customer base with the use of color, materials, and finishes. So giving it a personality where it's the forest edge with the brown ash wood. And then you open the next door and it's the Ocean Coast with the Ocean Coast wrapped deco piece. And it's just, even though it's the same form language, it feels like a much different living room, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to see and experience and kind of feel those in person, because I can see how just the smooth texture could, make it feel more modern, more just, I don't know, different. So I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, when Sophia rendered it, right, we knew we were kind of onto something, but then when we actually got to experience it in the studio, it truly is, sometimes we amaze ourselves at how powerful the use of color materials can be.
Is that Ocean Coast 1.0 behind you on those bookshelves? It's the first thing I
You
noticed.
made us look. Good luck.
There. I was like, is that leftover Ocean Coast?
That's
that
where it
was-
went.
That was yours, Kyle.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Hey.
I actually still love the original dream of Ocean Coast 1.0. I really do. I mean, even more than the black. Personally, I think the black looks great, but I love it. But I understand that surely, even what we talked about before, how wood would change, especially I've said on the show many times, my first business in college was making wood bats. And to see northern white ash, amber, patina over time, and really drastically change, I didn't know if that was part of it. And you guys don't have to answer that, but I love the original vision there, but I also love the dark wood. And before I kick it over to Jimmy, one question related is that a lot of our community has said, will it ever be an option to put the medium wood, so the forest edge wood, in something like Ocean Coast, or even with the dark? Does that make your heart hurt as a designer? Or do you see where they're going? And can you tell us if that's ever going to be an option? And is Tony still there?
Tony's still here.
Tell him to leave. You guys answer it.
We're constantly working to come up with, things that not only we love, but that our customers love first and foremost. So we're working on a lot of things we hope you guys are going to love.
Man, she's well trained.
Yeah. And actually that's a great answer. That means that we can expect to see things coming in the future, and that's the important part.
That we love. Yeah. So all right, Jimmy, what are you thinking? Back to Georgia.
Honestly, that was my question, Kyle. Like, because I know, if either of you watched when we had Tony on the first time, I think I asked that question, or that question was asked, and Tony's like, "We'll see," or "We'll have to," care on the vegan leather. I know, like for me personally, I use Adam Polish's product, and I know probably in the service centers when the vehicles get delivered, they have company purchased products. I guess along the same lines with the wood. And although I know, Sophia, you said earlier about soap and water, do you guys, is that something that you guys can tell us as far as like care for the seating surfaces of the vehicle?
I don't know like the exact endorsed Rivian product, but I do know like when we have to go through the testing that we talked about, it has to be able to come clean with mild soap and water. But I don't have a specific brand of soap, etc., that is going to be your miracle solution.
If I'm saying something to our audiences, and I know Jimmy and I talked about this on Tuesday night when he was here in Spring Patch, is that whatever I'm using, I guess it's like maybe from Chemical Guys or something, it's just, it leaves that matte finish. There's no shiny, because that's one of my favorite parts about black matte is the matte. None of that like quote Armor All as far as like the shine and all that. And I'm like, that would not. Nope, let's not screw that up. So
that makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No. Yep. 100%. Yeah. The Adams polish, that's product that I use. Like Kyle and I were talking about, and Kyle just mentioned, pure matte finish, and that interior just looks chef's kiss. It's
yeah.
100%.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of chef's kiss, can you guys point to anything of your favorite parts of the interior that most people might overlook, the average onlooker and even the average owner? Is there any Easter eggs, or maybe just your favorite parts too, if there isn't?
Design elements, that may not jump out at us as customers, regular drivers, that do to you as designers.
I don't know. I would say our customers are really kind of eagle eyes, right? yeah, to me, it's, all those attention to details and the excitement that they've created with, the Rivian community, your community, are the most exciting. So like the yellow behind the grab handle and matching, on the headrest, or, little yellow on the IP badge. It's those extremely, like we talked about, we've over and hyper analyzed and thought about things. So just like when somebody writes about it, I like on the forum or whatever, it just gets me really excited because they've noticed, the effort that we've put into it.
And that makes me think about something, and I'm so glad that it was not just limited to launch edition, but all of the yellow accents on the exterior badging, the brake calipers, all of the interior yellow accents, I absolutely love, because it's visual interest, but it's not overpowering either, strikes a great balance.
To make your hearts even fuller there, Aileen and Sophia, is that a lot of the people that I show the car to, which is dozens of people every day or week, 100 at the first week, it was surprising to me how much that yellow accent was noticed, especially on the badging and how it brought with the caliper, and then would show them inside. People loved it for sure.
Yeah, it was really important. I mean, as you guys know, it's like on the side of the badge, right? So it's not like the first thing you read. Again, it's about that discovery and that experience, right? It's not just, hey, it's in your face and it is what it is. It's about that experience and finding it, which I think is super exciting.
It brings energy and happiness into the interior and the exterior, like that discovery. And then the color itself, it just makes you smile. So we want to bring that smile on your face, so it's not look too serious.
Yeah.
What, if you can answer this question, what was the thought process on the yellow badging everywhere, or the yellow accents on the badging everywhere but the tailgate?
Yep, yellow badge, right under your R1.
Well, true, but I mean on the Rivian here though.
Yeah. It's just, it's too much of a good thing, right? It's that side entry where you come and open the door. Yes, you open your lift gate. Sometimes maybe you more than others, but it's that pursued to your door, right? So the welcome, if you will, right, to your interior. Sophia, you want to tell them your favorite part of the interior? But I think it's like really important.
Ooh. I mean, you already covered. Yellow is my favorite.
No, the interaction.
All the layers, like Kyle mentioned, that all the whole combination coming together. Every detail, like all the stitches, pipings, and everything.
How the wood comes together with like the fabric, right? It's just that perfect blend of going back to like the invitational, right? It just feels really familiar.
It does. And so when I listen to you say that, I almost don't want it to be open to where you can start mixing and matching too much. Like, oh, I want a different colored headliner for Ocean Coast, for example, because that's been a thing. When I design websites, I love Squarespace because you can't get into too much trouble. It's like, nope, here's your deals. And I just respect like the design part so much that I can see where we want to put some boundaries on that.
We take it really seriously to create these beautifully curated and crafted combinations. So, maybe the customers can put some of that on us and trust that we'll hyper analyze and overthink everything for them.
Mm-hmm. So am I right that then Ocean Coast is the best combo with El Cap? I mean,
I don't disagree with you, Kyle.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the best.
Okay.
But I think they're all great.
Yeah, good answer. Awesome. Skylar, Jimmy, you guys thinking of anything else? And then honestly, just open-ended as far as Aileen and Sophia, anything that you guys are thinking about that you'd love to tell the Rivian community out there?
Well, before we ask of the Rivian community, I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite detail about, your R1Ts or S's?
Ooh, I personally love the wood trim and the vegan leather, the look, the feel, the comfort of the seating is amazing. So that's going to be my two. The seating and the wood trim I really like. Well, actually one other, but you only see it at night, but the ambient lighting was done very, very well also, I think.
Very well.
Yeah. Ours, or at least mine, would be, so I love that the Black Mountain isn't like coal black. I love that it's got just enough gray in it to lighten it up. And then probably my absolute favorite part of the interior is the headliner. I love the feel. I love the way it looks. I love that it's dark. Skylar and I talked about this, probably one of our first or second recordings we ever did here. We were talking about how, or at least I talked about how I love a dark headliner in a car because I feel like I'm getting hugged. As crazy as that sounds, like it just, the headliner.
We're with you, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy loves his hugs too.
I am. Man. I'm a hugger. I am a hugger. You can ask both of those guys. I'm a hugger, and Tony. Tony will tell you I'm a hugger. The way that it, for being a recycled material, people are like, oh man, that Alcantara, however you pronounce it, man, it's super nice. I was like, actually, it's recycled, like water bottles or plastic bottles or something like that. And people, their minds are blown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they try to argue with me, and I'm like, all right, okay, I'll move on.
Yep.
Let me show you something else. But yeah, it's so good.
Yep. Jimmy was a hugger until at his delivery I bear hugged him and almost knocked him over and threw at his back for life. I absolutely, to me, my eye goes to the wood, like long love of wood. Even going back to the baseball bats and stuff. My grandpa was a farmer and had a wood shop. I always remember seeing him make furniture. We still have furniture that he's made us. So I love that. Absolutely love it. I love barnwood too. And so kind of have that raw feeling. Talking too much about that. What we haven't mentioned and what we get a lot of feedback from is the glass ceiling. I mean, it's a material, it's a part of the design, but it is amazing. And I've only ridden in the back of my Rivian once, but I absolutely loved the view looking up. And it was a perfect day for it because it was partly cloudy, to where it was like looking up at the clouds with great sunshades. And functionally there too, that we've had some hot days, and sure, if you touch it, it can be hot. But as far as whatever y'all have done to prevent tinting of heat is really, really well done and appreciated, obviously. There is too many things to think about, though.
That's
the
great.
sensors even go towards the ears with a great sound system. And honestly, the smell of a new car, but something is a little bit different in there than most other new cars. It smells like a new car, but it's a little bit different. Don't know what or why or how, but it's a Rivian smell, not one of the others. So, yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Rivian smell.
Yeah.
Like it. We're going to try to bottle it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We need some new cologne line,
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? And do we need to get Tony on there? But anything else from you guys, Skylar and Jimmy?
No, I'm good.
And
thank
you both for your time. Greatly appreciated.
Very much.
Thank
And even
you
a
all.
little
It was
bit
a
of extra
pleasure.
time.
Yep. That's what I say on behalf of all the community. Thank you guys for your time and expertise today. We'd love to have you on sometime in the future, but more than even for your time, thanks for all of the years you've put in to make
all
our
of the
vehicles.
hard work to make these amazing vehicles. Yeah.
We appreciate you, and we'll make all of our Rivian community send you an email or something, or hop on over to the community and read the comments.
We read all the comments. That's
I was like, check it.
Awesome.
So we know. You guys
Thank
help
you guys.
us out.
Yeah, they did mention that they're on RS, so that's pretty cool. Even if they probably are under fake names, but we appreciate you guys coming on.
Yep.
Yeah, thank
you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Here's
All right, folks, that's it for this one. Again, catch the entire episode on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app. Until the next video, we'll be hanging out at rivianstories.com, so we hope to see you there.